Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about B.O.B. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreons know that I just released a new Patreon exclusive on the Balenciaga ad incident. This Patreon video is a part 2 to the first podcast episode I did on Balenciaga that's up on the YouTube channel now. Unfortunately, this podcast is not allowed on YouTube due to the community guidelines. So if you're one of my Patreons, make sure you go check it out. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. Back in 2010, B.O.B. started to see mainstream success after dropping his mega hit song Nothing on You, featuring Bruno Mars. The song would change B.O.B.'s life forever, as he would follow up with multiple hit songs that would top the Billboard chart. Just as it seemed that B.O.B. was becoming one of the mainstream chart toppers, B.O.B. would disappear from the mainstream spotlight overnight. Many people to this day don't know what truly happened to B.O.B.'s music career, as it seemed like he could have been in the same lane as J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, but that's not at all how things turned out for him. The main belief is that B.O.B. just fell off, but what truly happened is much more sinister. B.O.B. was born on November 15, 1988 in North Carolina, but would end up living in Decatur, Georgia for part of his life. B.O.B. has always been into music since an early age. He got into music in elementary school, joining the school band where he played the trumpet into his high school years. Since the 6th grade, B.O.B. knew he wanted to make music as a profession, confessing this to his parents, with his father initially disapproving of his choice. When B.O.B. was in the 9th grade, he would decide to drop out of high school after he got signed to his first record deal. In the early 2000s, most artists were discovered like this, being found before they had any fame or recognition. This is why I stated in the past that most older artists are usually industry plants, as the record labels more than likely found them before they had anything going for themselves. The label would then create the artist's entire image from scratch, pairing the artist with industry engineers and producers who can help develop their sound and take them musically to the next level. This is what seems to be the case with B.O.B., who was put in the game as a teen while he was still in high school. B.O.B. would get signed in 2002 and would be managed by a man named B. Rich, who helped a 14-year-old B.O.B. sell his first beat, making him some good money for his age. B.O.B. would quickly run through his newly earned money, leaving him broke. Around this time, B.O.B. was running around Georgia, performing at open mics, trying to build a buzz for himself. In 2006, B.O.B., with help from his then manager, would sneak into a nightclub called Crucial that was owned by no other than T.I. B.O.B. would get a chance to perform that night and was able to get the attention of a record label executive by the name of T.J. Chapman, who took a liking to B.O.B. and agreed to help manage his career. Just 1 month later, T.J. Chapman would get B.O.B. his first major record deal with Atlantic Records. Shortly after signing, B.O.B. would release his first single, Haters Everywhere. In 2009, B.O.B. managed to secure a spot on the XXL freshman list. In 2010, B.O.B. would finally get his first taste of mainstream success when he dropped his mixtape called May 25th that was supposed to act as promo for his upcoming album, dropping May 25th. The mixtape contained the song Nothing on You featuring Bruno Mars, a song that would provide the needed exposure B.O.B. was searching for. After this, B.O.B. would unleash hit after hit, working with some big names in the industry like T.I. B.O.B. would drop songs like Airplane and Magic, both landing in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. After B.O.B. released his mixtape, he was named one of the hottest rappers of 2010 by MTV. B.O.B. followed up his 2010 success with another successful year of releases in 2011, dropping Strange Clouds featuring rapper Lil Wayne. B.O.B. would drop his second studio album, Strange Clouds, in 2012, that contained a bunch of hit songs that just kept on growing B.O.B.'s catalog. B.O.B. kept dropping hit songs all the way until 2015, when suddenly it appeared B.O.B. fell off the map. It seemed just like most other rappers, B.O.B.'s career had reached its expiration date and he was just simply falling off. But according to B.O.B., this is not at all what happened to his career. According to B.O.B., the only reason his career got cancelled was because he came across some information he believed the world needed to know and decided to expose it. B.O.B. explained that the real reason his career was cancelled was because he tweeted that he believed the earth is in reality not round but flat. Back in 2016, B.O.B. tweeted and provided photo evidence to validate his claims. He was quickly met with ridicule from many people online, with even Neil Tyson responding to B.O.B, explaining to him why the earth is truly round. B.O.B then responded to Neil with a diss song called Flatline, where B.O.B exposed it all and doesn't hold back at all. B.O.B openly calls out the Masons in this song, where he raps, "Use your common sense. Why is NASA part of the Department of Defense? They divided up the seas into 33 degrees, feeding kids masonry. Bruh, be careful what you read." Openly, B.O.B admitted a point we often make on this channel. The Masons are force-feeding their Masonic agenda to the masses. America isn't the land of the free, but the land of the free and accepted Masons. B.O.B also rapped about how the Masons sent Neil Tyson to shut him up over his comments on the shape of the earth. B.O.B rapped, "Neil Tyson needs to loosen up his vest. They probably write that man one hell of a check." This is exactly how the puppet masters control the celebrities, controlling them with money. B.O.B knew that his career would be over when he started talking about the things he mentioned in this song, but he still decided to speak on it. He knew they would come for him one way or another, but B.O.B didn't step down, dropping another song where he further exposes the Masons. B.O.B would then release a second part to his Flatline song, where he once again exposes the truth. In the record, B.O.B makes some very interesting claims as he speaks about the rappers having to sell their souls in order to make it. B.O.B raps, "The question, I always hear this question, how did you get into the music business? Were you let in or blessed in? I'm guessing I never signed my name in blood or sacrificed my best friend. I got as far as I could go before I hit a dead end. Sit back and let it sit in." B.O.B claims he never made a ritual sacrifice or took the Masonic oath, and it's the reason his career hit a dead end. B.O.B claims to have seen the truth and chosen not to stay quiet about it. B.O.B's last successful song was all the way back in 2015, before he chose to speak out about the Masons. It's obvious to me they shut him up, and he's lucky this is all they did to him. About a month ago, B.O.B released a song called TED Talk that once again didn't do numbers anywhere near his prime years. In the song, B.O.B speaks on the reason he got cancelled. B.O.B raps, "B.O.B, why did you say the earth was flat? I mean, you threw your whole career away and then you just fade to black. You just gonna disappear and not address the elephant? Man, get back to the elements. This new stuff is irrelevant. I mean, you ain't even gotta ask. You already know I came across some information and I wanted to show. I went to Twitter with a picture thinking people would get it, and then Complex wrote an article to try to embarrass us." In this song, B.O.B makes it clear that he lost his entire career, all because he chose to speak on what he thought was the truth. He admits that the puppet masters reached out and tried to get him on a show to take back his comments, but he refused. B.O.B was warned and he didn't listen. He instead doubled down. What happened to B.O.B happens to the few artists who choose to turn their back on the Masonic order. B.O.B stood up to the system and they did their best to erase him from existence. Just as quickly as the Masons gave B.O.B a mainstream career, they took it all away and left him with nothing. They made him look crazy, discrediting anything he had to say. Those who run our world know that most people are sheep who just go along with what they're told. Once the industry put the narrative out that B.O.B was a crazy conspiracy theorist, anything he had to say was laughed at by the masses. Even though I don't necessarily agree with everything B.O.B states, I can assure you he was exposing some truth as the industry quickly silenced him. What happened to B.O.B is the perfect example of what happens to those that speak the truth and go against the agenda. They get silenced and their careers get taken from them. There's a reason why the Masons go so hard to control the narrative. They don't want people to know the truth. They don't want people to wake up. In order for the Masons' plans to work, people need to remain blinded from the truth. B.O.B lost his career to let people know this truth, and it's the reason why I always say we need to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just wanted to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. I truly appreciate every single one of you. If you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement, or you can join me on Patreon where I drop exclusive videos monthly. The link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by checking out the Truthfist store and seeing if you find anything you like. Every purchase you make helps with the funding of Truth Records. The link to the Truthfist store is also in the description. Also, please leave a comment on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. If you like this video, please leave a like as it helps other people find these videos. You can also find me on TikTok and Instagram and follow me there. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.